Hi guys, I'm Emma.
And I'm Jasmine,
and we're Too Much to Handle,
a podcast where we talk about the highs and lows of high school.
Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy.
Hello everybody.
It's our 5th episode.
That's that's like a celebration. Like
Thanks to celebration. Let's have cake.
Yeah, 5 episodes. Like
Pretty
that's
cool.
a milestone. Like 5
cool.
years in a relationship, 5 episodes
into our podcast. So yeah.
Period. Episode 5. What are we talking
about?
about?
This fine day, we will be talking about relationships. Last week, we talked about friendships.
Yeah.
This week, we're kind of expanding it a little.
Yeah, cutting it
to relationships.
Yeah. Which, man, oh man, high school is the time for relationships. Not really. I don't know. Everyone has a different opinion on that, but high school is a time relationships begin to flourish more, I feel like, because, people start to mature more, especially girls. Boys aren't fully mature yet. But it's okay.
Personally, I don't think I'm a fan of high school relationships.
Yeah. I've never had one. So,
good Lord.
I can't really speak on, saying, they are, or should it be a thing, But
and I'm not saying I don't want a boyfriend, because trust me, I want a boyfriend.
Yeah.
I just think that there's a lot of, problems associated with high school relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Dating-wise.
Yeah, and, it can ruin friendships, kind of going back to last week's episode. There's been relationships that have ended friendships, and which is horrible to see, but that happens everywhere, in movies, in real life. Sadly, that is true. Relationships do end friendships, especially in high school, because no one really knows what they're doing yet, and so yes, girls are more mature than boys during this time period, but we're still not fully mature. Everyone is still learning, and I think it's good and that's why I can see an upside of having a high school relationship, because you can learn and you can grow from it, but I can also see high school relationships
they can be a big problem for a lot of people.
Yeah. I've, again, never had one, been in one yet. Probably, I don't know.
You still got a year.
Which is, and it's fine if I don't. But from an outside looking in, I see the pros and cons of both. Because, high school sweetheart, but it's what, 9% high school sweethearts actually get married. And I think that's cool that you can marry your high school. I when I was a little girl, I dreamed of that, but I don't know.
If you're in a relationship, a high school relationship, we are not trying to dog on you. Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
And I have seen so many people grow in, they were in, maybe a not so good relationship, freshman or sophomore year, or, junior, whatever. Or they had a lot of relationships in the past, or they've never had one, but their personality was just not great. And then they got into a relationship with someone, and they grew in their personality, and they grew in their faith, or they get out of a relationship and they learn that is just not for me right now. I've seen so many people grow who are in relationships or have just recently gotten out of relationships. I don't know. So, yeah. And not to say that if you didn't grow from a relationship you left or a relationship you're in, you're doing it wrong. Like, as a person who has been in a relationship in high school, is there anything?
Was it really a relationship?
I think so. Anything you want to
I
share?
regret it.
Oh, it's okay.
I regret my high school relationship. I was in a relationship sophomore year for 3 months at the end of the school year.
Yeah.
It was a mistake, by the way. I feel like a lot of people rush into high school relationships because they like the idea of a high school relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, I did. I like the idea of having a high school relationship. I was
Yeah.
like, that's cool, that's awesome. And I'm gonna be honest for a second, that guy was kind of a bop.
Yeah.
He was a
It's
bop.
okay. You learned,
But I learned from it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think I have to be like wise with my words because I can say something come out the wrong way. I feel like there's a defined line between like having a crush and like liking someone and like dating someone. Obviously there's a defined line between that. But like in my head, I can visualize I like this person. I think he's really cute and I have a crush on him and I've had a crush on him for a month. But like dating him is like a different like it's just a different level of liking someone. And like
I liked someone for a while, but as soon as I like thought about it, like I couldn't picture myself like actually being with them.
mm-hmm.
So it kind of changed my whole perspective on things.
Yeah. And something else too that a good like teacher has always taught us in chapel is that when you're in a relationship, the person you're dating is defined by like their closest friends. Like and there's a spec of like each friend in them because that's who they spend the most time with. So if you're dating someone or you're pursuing to date someone and you don't like some of their friends or how some of their friends act, just know that there's a part of them that is going to act like that. Maybe sometimes, maybe not all the time. But I think that's after like hearing that a couple of times, because he would repeat it a couple of times, like in our chapels that we had. But it finally clicked in my brain, like saying like yes, this guy is cute and I think he has a great personality, but his friends do not. And I don't want to be around someone like that. If
people change people.
Mm-hmm.
Girl Meets World.
Girl Meets World. Girl Meets World. Excuse me.
So someone's friends influence friends. I mean, again, like going back to last week's episode about like friendship, like
yeah,
people rub off on people.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this might come across the wrong way, but like if you're a freshman and you're dating someone who's also a freshman, I personally think it's just silly. I don't know. Most
You're fresh out of middle school.
Right. Middle school relationships are silly to me. When I hear that there's a 6th grader dating another 6th grader, I'm like, I don't know, like dating is a silly like for middle school. Cause yeah, they like each other, they can hang out, but like dating?
And we know a relationship that started in middle school and they are married now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, not all of them are silly, but
right. Most of the freshman relationships don't last out of freshman year. Some of them do. And I think that's because they have a healthy relationship with each other. Most of them don't because you're freshmen and you're still young and you're still learning.
You're still figuring high school out. You don't need to add a relationship on top of that.
Right. And I think there's so much pressure too to like, if one friend has a relationship, then like everyone else starts to pursue finding a boyfriend or girlfriend because your one friend has one, so then now the whole friend group kind of needs one. Not to say like that's it has to be that way, but there's that peer pressure of that. And so then you kind of just jump into like like I'm like specifically talking about like freshman year, you do this. Not to say you don't any other year, but you just like jump into this rabbit hole of pursuing this one person, not really even thinking about their personality, their friends, yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so my parents, obviously are not in high school. They're my parents. That'd be weird. Okay.
That would be very weird.
So that's that. I'm sorry. But they have had, trials in their marriage. But they have worked through it. Christ has become a big center of their marriage, and they are pursuing to start a ministry and like help other people with their marriages and like overcome things that they had to overcome and obstacles. And seeing that and like witnessing how they changed their relationship and how much they fixed, like how much they worked on it, has like shown me not to settle for anything. And like I know like saying that you're probably like, yeah, I hear that all the time on TikTok or Instagram or from my mom. Like don't settle, but like
Don't settle.
but don't. Like it's so important.
And it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to settle.
Yeah. But like value yourself.
Oh yes.
Put yourself and put whoever you're pursuing at a high standard. And I know like people don't like that.
Hold yourself accountable. Hold the other person accountable.
Mm-hmm. I know people don't like that and like it's like hard work, but that's what makes a healthy relationship. Like our coach, she is like at least shared with me like making Christ the center of a relationship and pursuing him and holding each other accountable, setting boundaries. It is so important. That's what makes such a healthy relationship. And I know that like in high school, you're probably like, well, that's too much work and that's silly and I don't want to think about that. But if you are truly pursuing someone in high school that you think you want to continue to pursue after high school, then start now because it's better to start early than later. It's better to start now than never, but like, yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I feel like relationships are just a scary topic.
Mm-hmm. I feel like equipped to talk about it because I don't know. I've never been in one.
Yeah, I don't feel like equipped to talk about either, but I feel like it's still something we can talk about.
Yeah. And if you feel hurt by what we're saying, understand that we are not in everyone's relationship. Like we don't know what kind of relationship everyone is in. So if you're watching this and you're in a relationship and you're hurt by what we're saying, we're tired.
We're very sorry.
I'm tired.
There's like a wide like range of how a high school relationship can go. It can be really good, it can be really bad, it can be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And I always said I don't think they're a good idea, but like I don't really know. Like
yeah.
Do what feels healthy for you. If you think you want to be in a high school relationship and it feels healthy for you, be my guest. I'm not going to tell you not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I feel like a high school relationship isn't for me.
Right.
And even though like I want one
so
bad,
same.
I try to resist because I know that it's not probably the greatest thing for me personally.
And like this, like, once you get out of high school, you go to college. Most of the time, you're not going to college with your significant other, and sometimes you do, and like that's great. And sometimes you don't, and you still work out, and that's great too. But there's a chance that, they meet someone else or you meet someone else while you're off in college. And
Things happen, you
right,
drift apart, like
right.
your relationship becomes
Long
difficult.
long distance, and it's hard. And that's why I think high school relationships are just difficult to start in high school. Like, start a relationship when you're not tied down in a way to high school. Like, you have to be at home, and I don't know what I'm saying.
It's okay. No, I think we can kind of get the gist of what you're saying.
Okay.
It'll be okay.
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
Are you okay?
You hit me real hard.
I do that all the time. I'm so sorry.
Real hard just then.
Is your ankle okay?
Oh my gosh! The other day we were at a camp meeting and she hit me really hard on the ankle.
I got so mad, and so I went boom, and I was like, I'm so
not
sorry.
mad at me, just mad at
yeah.
general.
I think I got mad.
I just happened to be sitting too close to her when she swung her arm in anger.
I do
and
that
she
a couple
hit me.
times. I do that a lot. I'm so sorry.
It's normally to me.
What else about relationships?
Yeah, what else about high school relationship, dating, crushes?
Dating crushes. Well, crushes in general are just weird. Like, now I think about it, like, I don't like. Ew, I don't know.
Yeah, no, like I get that feeling all the time. Like, what the heck is a crush? Like, oh, that guy's cute. I want him.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I just my heart just finds him attractive.
You just get a little flutter.
You just get a little flutter.
Yeah.
It sucks
And like,
to you.
I wonder, like this is probably so weird. I probably want to sound like a pick me girl. Like, what do boys think when they have like a crush? Like, I want
That does not make you sound like a pick me girl.
Okay.
I wonder that too. Like, what are like?
How do they like? Do they get a little heart flutter? Do they see Joe Siwa walking? Sorry, that's the first girl name that popped in my head.
Let's use Linda.
Do they see Linda walk past and they're like, boom, 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 boom? You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh! If you're a guy, please tell us like how you feel. Like,
yeah.
Do you talk to your guy friends about it? Are you like,
yeah,
guys, she's so cute?
Do you
like,
pull up the group chat?
Yeah.
And what?
Sorry, personal attack.
I love when you say it, and so I've started saying it. I like it. I think it's satisfying. I'm being serious. Say it again. I can't now. Group chat? I can't say it.
She thinks the way I say group chat is funny.
I love it. No, I don't think it's funny.
She really likes the way I say group chat.
It's satisfying. It's like group chat. Like
group chat.
Wow.
I said that was a personal attack.
Anyways, but yeah. Because, like, personally for me, when I see an attractive guy, when I'm babysitting, I get in the car after babysitting, and I pull up a video and I say, Emma, you'll never guess what just happened. And then I tell her, and I'm like, and we locked eyes and we fell in love. And she's like, Jasmine, he probably looked at you because you were sunburned. And I'm like, probably.
She's a really bad sunburn.
Yeah.
No, you said he probably looked at you because you were sunburned. I said he's probably in love with you.
Oh, my bad. I got mixed up. No, that was my mom said that. He probably because I was sunburned. She was probably right. Anyways, so like that's me personally. Like that's what I do. Or I text Emma and I'm like, Emma, and she's like, what?
I do the same thing.
Yeah. And we're like,
I'm gonna start talking about the boy at church.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna keep this really, really vague. There was a boy I saw at church. A little background information. I have a very specific type. Like specific type.
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine knows
it's very specific.
It's specific. They have to be a certain way, but they also have to be like Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to
as they should.
I prefer them like go to church and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these two things like they don't really match. Like you never see like this kind of boy
pursue Christ normally.
And that's not like a jab at those kind of people.
Right.
You just it's rare.
Yes.
It's rare. But I,
She's getting so giggly.
I happened to see a boy at church, and he matched my very specific,
Down to the bone, I
very
feel like.
specific type, and I kind of went a little cuckoo crazy.
A lot cuckoo crazy. Who said that?
Who said that? Braylee, I miss you.
It was Braylee?
It was she Braylee.
Yeah, personally for me, when I see a cute boy with glasses and curly hair, I just
That's Jasmine's broad type. Two boys that we really like are these two Australian singer brothers named Luke and Joel Smallbone. We're
if
their
you're
biggest
listening,
fans.
if you're listening, we love you so much.
Please give us VIP tickets to your concert this summer.
Please let us in your next movie.
Please.
We're really good
Next movie,
actors.
please.
And they're in healthy relationships.
They are happily married with children, both of them.
Not Joel.
I'm sorry.
Not yet.
He doesn't have kids?
No.
So all those kids are just Luke's kids?
Yep.
So Luke just has a plethora of kids and Joel has 4. None.
Yeah.
I could have sworn the drummer boy was
his godson. It's Luke's kid, but it's Joel's godson.
Not nephew?
Well, yeah, nephew, but
yeah, no, I get it.
He calls him his godson. I don't know if they had high school relationships. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Crushes, relationships, high school dating, it's all really weird and confusing.
And it's everywhere. Like, it's like,
oh yeah.
There's such a wide variety, wide range of those definitions that it's hard to
I feel like it's really like romanticized in like movies about high school.
Oh yeah. Like
it sets really like unrealistic standards for like you need to find a cute boyfriend in high school. You don't, but
you don't.
High School Musical makes me think I do.
Yeah. And like when you really think about it, sometimes they're like in their sophomore year when those movies like they're supposed to be like sophomores and like juniors or like junior and senior or like the ages like that they're portraying. You never really think about it until you pass that and you're like you watch it again and you're like, wait, that did not happen. That is not how high school is like. Yeah, no. Should we get a parent's opinion?
We're gonna bring in a special guest to talk for a brief moment.
Hello, everybody. Welcome our special guest, my mom, Joanna Reynolds. Clapping.
She wasn't prepared for clapping for her. She's our special guest, and she's gonna tell us about. Tell us all your advice about high school relationships.
Advice I can give because
so. A little background about my mom is she had high school relationships. I was a little accident of one of them.
Surprise. You're surprised.
My mom calls
right.
it a happy little accident.
Yes, that's what. Yeah,
oh, I love that. Yeah, happy little accident.
So go ahead and
yeah, advice on high school relationships. I wish I wasn't so caught up in needing to fill that. Like, I felt like I had to have a boyfriend or I had to be in a relationship, which led to me choosing the absolute wrong and worst relationships I could have, which led to me being pregnant right out of high school. So many things. Not that you are my godson, and I say that all the time, but I think I was so caught up in this. You have to have a relationship. You have to have a boyfriend to feel loved, to feel wanted, to feel accepted. And if I could go back to high school teenage Joanna, I would have told her, no, this is not where you find yourself. I wish I could have done that. I wish I could have go back in time and say, this is not where you find yourself. Where you find yourself and where you find your meaning and where you find accepted and loved is through Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And that relationship with him. I had allowed guys to put so many holes in my heart that led me to bad choices, that led me to doing things I shouldn't have been doing at all, which led to me like just losing myself. I didn't even know what kind of music I liked because I was so involved with guys and what they wanted and just wanted to please them because I felt like that's what I had to do. Not just because it's what I felt like I had to do, but it's what like you see in like social media, like not just social media, but in the like media around you. But what?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. But like movies, like the movies portray
that's
that.
what we
the
were just
TV
talking
shows
about.
portray that, and not just that, but our peers. And there's so much peer pressure. I went to a public high school, but the peer pressure of giving yourself to guys in that way, even from one of my siblings, like there was peer pressure to do that as well. So
something else we were kind of like talking about is like we kind of feel like high school, having a relationship in high school is kind of not pointless, but like maybe you shouldn't have a high school or like a relationship in high school, or like, do you know what we're trying to say? Like, how do you feel about that?
Gosh, that's hard to say too.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people do it well. I've seen people who do that well and have a good relationship with their other person because they don't let it consume their everything. I guess maybe that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is if you're gonna have a high school relationship, don't let it consume your everything. You don't have to be with that person for every event, everything going on, for every waking moment or every second you're out of school. Like that just becomes so unhealthy, and again, you lose yourself, and then it just becomes an unhealthy relationship for both of you. I think just making sure you don't get too serious in a high school relationship, because there's just so much maturity that still needs to happen. And not just that, but like finding yourself. It happens so much in high school. And again, figuring out what you like, what you don't like, what you believe, what you don't believe, what your values are. Like those kind of things are going to come later as you go out in the world and explore life yourself and figure out, okay, who am I without my parents, kind of a thing. Like who am I as an individual, versus who am I in this relationship. And that's hard to do in high school.
Yeah. And we were also talking about like kind of how it's important to hold yourself at a high standard and value yourself, but also hold your spouse or your significant other at a high standard. And like, how would you say that could be done in high school? Because it's like, it's hard, right? It's hard to even do that as an adult, but like maybe could you give some input maybe?
So how do you hold your significant other at a high value?
Yeah, like at a high standard, like hold them accountable.
Yeah, in high school.
I think that's really hard. That's just so hard because are you crossing a line then of invading their personal space?
Right.
And so that's just a hard thing to do, because as a married individual, I have every right to look through my husband's phone if I want to, because he is my spouse, and we have that agreement with each other. And but that's something that we've agreed upon. That's something that we've done, counseling through. Not something I would have done at the high school level. And
that can be seen as like controlling at a high school level.
And then I do think it is kind of, you're crossing a weird line that honestly, if you don't trust that individual, then you shouldn't be in that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
I think there's just a level of maturity on both people there to be at that type of a relationship.
Yeah. And like we said, we're still learning. Everyone's making like mistakes and growing from relationships.
I think too, like I think I've heard your mom say this, and this I think is really good advice. Like, be friends first.
Yes.
Like I'm sure you get tired of your mom saying that.
My mom says that to me all the time. She says, Emma, before you get in a relationship, be their friend first. And I say, okay, thanks.
But I think there's a lot of value to that, because you have a different comfort level and a different level of trust, because you know them outside of a relationship.
Yeah.
You know who they are around their friends, versus just I'm trying to get to know you and be in a relationship with you. You've already seen a different side of them. And so there's just a different level of trust.
Yeah.
So, yeah, be friends first.
And then I know your answer to this, but no one else does. Well, I mean, but so as a parent of a high schooler, if your high school daughter came home, me, and said, Mom, I have a boyfriend. What, like, your reaction is normally, need to meet his parents, but, like, I guess more into depth of how you would respond to that.
I would probably be really surprised, honestly, if you're just like, I have a boyfriend. I'm like, I don't know anything about him. So typically you would talk about him first. So, anyways, I would want to know like his character, like what do you know about his character? Do you value him as a good individual? And I want to meet his parents. Like, I think whether, because people can be very opposite of who their parents are. And
Yeah.
it's not to say I'm judging him by his parents, but I want to know like what his parents' expectations are in a relationship, and what their expectations are. Like, are they okay with you being out past midnight on a weekend or not? Like those, like, just make sure we're on the same page as well. But yeah, I would want to know, is he in sports? Is he in an activity at school? Like, just I like to know the
Her
things.
usual questions.
I like to know the things. I want to know him too. And I want him to meet us.
Yeah.
Like, that's important too.
Yeah. I just think it's important for people to hear, like, at least, like, not to say every parent is the same, but, like, a parent's opinion on if, high school relationships. So, and you've experienced a lot.
I've had some experience on that.
So thank you.
I wish I could go back to my past self and, like, don't waste your time.
Do you have a Bible verse for us that you want to share? If not, I don't feel pressured. Don't feel pressured. I know, like, you and Dad love your Bible verses in the mirror. So maybe, is there one about, like, relationships or kind of centering Christ? If not, that's okay. Don't stress too much, but.
I mean, the one that really pops into my head is like my favorite verse is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans for you, declares the Lord.
Yeah.
And that just, he knows all your plans for you that are best, and that even goes into your relationships. And so even with that too, like going to God before you get involved in a relationship and asking him, is this a relationship you want me to pursue? And not just like, okay, I prayed about it and now I'm going to go do it. Like, pray about it and like wait a few days, wait a week or longer if you need to wait until God, you feel like he's either affirmed it or he's like made it uneasy in you to like, no, this isn't for you. So yeah, that's all. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. You guys I just walked by.
You did like, great for being unprepared. That was amazing.
All right, I love you girls. Love you.
We love you.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna go bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
I know. Where did we go? She said. So, an outro.